All right, let's talk about the Caribbean island of Roatán. It's a destination that's right at this huge turning point. We're seeing it transform from this kind of hidden gem into a real global hotspot. But at the same time, it's making a major pivot on how it treats its most famous and slowest residents. So what's really driving this massive change?
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? You can just feel the excitement. It looks like Rotan's days as a best-kept secret are numbered. It's ready to step out onto the world stage in a really big way. The question is, how?
Well, it all kicks off right here. There's been a huge strategic alliance announced, and people are seeing it as this massive vote of confidence in the island's future. It's basically signaling a brand new era for its entire tourism industry. So let's break it down. What exactly is this alliance? Well, it's a team up between two really key players. On one side, you have HM Resorts. They're the local experts, right? They know Roatán inside and out. And on the other side, you've got Meliá Hotels, an absolute giant in the global hospitality world. And this is where it gets really smart. Think about the synergy here. You're taking that deep, on-the-ground, local knowledge and pairing it with massive international brand power. It is the classic best of both worlds scenario, and it's all designed to put Roatán on the map for travelers everywhere. And the ripple effects of this, they're going to be huge. We're not just talking about one new hotel here. This is about building real long-term confidence in the island. And that, in turn, creates jobs, it attracts more investment, and, this is really crucial, it gives a much-needed boost to their sustainable tourism projects. Okay, so that's the big picture strategy. But what does all this mean for you, the traveler? Let's get down to the good stuff. The first tangible thing you can actually see and experience from this whole deal. And get this, they are not wasting any time. This timeline is honestly kind of wild. The alliance gets announced in November, and the very first hotel under this new partnership opens its doors just 1 month later. Talk about a fast turnaround. And here it is, Sol by Meliá. This is a real landmark moment. It's not just another nice resort for Roatán. This is the very first time the Meliá brand has planted its flag anywhere in Honduras. So the key takeaway here is that Roatán is now officially on Meliá's global map. That's a huge deal. But as Roatán steps into this bigger spotlight, a whole other conversation is becoming just as important. So we're going to switch gears a little bit, moving from development to responsibility. And we're going to focus on a question that a lot of visitors have on their minds. It's probably one of the most asked questions for anyone thinking of visiting. Can I hold a sloth? For a long time, the island was pretty well known for these kinds of up-close and personal wildlife encounters. So, what's the answer today? The answer, straight from the source, is simple and totally unambiguous. No, you can't. This is a clear, definitive rule on the island now, and there is a very, very important reason for it. And this quote, wow, it just gives you all the context you need. In the past, the tourist demand for photos and interactions, it just got out of control. It led to some really terrible situations for these animals. The source literally calls finding sloths inside gift shops insanity, and that paints a pretty clear picture of why the rules had to change so dramatically. So this really shows you the island's evolution perfectly. Roatán has made a very conscious shift. They're moving away from that past and are now all in on a model of ethical, responsible, no-contact observation. It's all about protecting the very wildlife that makes the island so special to begin with. So let's tie these two big stories together. Because on the one hand, you've got this massive push for growth and global recognition. And on the other, you've got this strengthening commitment to ethics and sustainability. And it's very possible these two things aren't just happening at the same time by accident. They might be directly connected. Think of the island's transformation as having two parallel tracks. There's the development side, that's the Meliá partnership and all the new investment. Then there's the responsibility side. That's the wildlife rules and the need for more conscious visitor choices. But this might not be a coincidence. For a global brand like Meliá to invest, they need to know that responsibility column is solid to protect their own reputation. It makes the development column a much safer bet. They're really two halves of the same vision. And all of this leaves us with this one big critical question. Roatán is trying to rate a brand new chapter, one where it can welcome the world without losing its soul. The challenge it faces, and it's a tough one, is how to balance that explosive growth with mindful, sustainable tourism. It's a question that destinations all over the globe are grappling with, and Roatán's journey is going to be a fascinating one to watch.